Everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. I have an update to share about one of Trump's Capitol terrorists, but honestly, this is going to sound more like an episode of Get the Fuck Out. I'm just telling you up front. So it's time for an almost unreal episode of Where Are They Now?
Matthew Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
So you probably won't remember this guy because I didn't. Eric Bochene, I believe is how you pronounce his name, Bochene or Bochene. He also goes by the name of Eric Festo. He's a 49-year-old New York resident who pretty much had an unremarkable case until now. Bochene was arrested on May 13th after the FBI received a tip from someone saying that he had bragged about breaking a window and being one of the first people into the Capitol. I know that could be anybody, right? That describes pretty much most of them. His face was also plastered all over the place. It was all over social media, all over the news, because he was in that now infamous photo, or many infamous photos, of the QAnon shaman. He was standing not too far off to his side inside the Capitol with the guy with the horns, shirtless. Like I said, Bochene himself, he was standing off to the side of Jacob Chansley, wasn't wearing anything special, wasn't carrying anything that stood out. And he was one of those Capitol insurrectionists who, honestly, was just charged with the 4 standard misdemeanors: the entering a restricted building, the 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and then parading or demonstrating in a Capitol building. So Bochene was even cooperating with the FBI. When they interviewed him on March 10th, he readily shared videos of his time in the Capitol. He admitted to entering the building. He identified his own voice in the video that he had recorded and pointed himself out in photos. So it didn't seem like it was going to be anything special. Like his case was just going to be one of those typical, slap on the wrist, few years of probation, whatever, small fine, right? About the only thing interesting about Bochene's case was the fact that the friend who communicated with him during, I think it was, or right after the Capitol attack, asked him if he had entered the White House. So his friend didn't distinguish between the Capitol and the White House. That was really like the only thing that you could say about his case. Well, it's now taken a very bizarre turn. So first, Bochene was arraigned on July 1st, and he pleaded guilty. Now, several people have pleaded guilty to one crime, but he's the only January 6th defendant to plead guilty to all 4 of the misdemeanor charges. That's not the weird part, though. The truly bizarre, get the fuck out type of stuff just recently occurred because Bochene has fired his public defender, which always makes me laugh because these people hate communism, they hate socialism, but hey, give me a public defender. So he's fired his public defender and he's now representing himself in court. You've heard me talk about that too. There's a few of these nuts out there who want to defend themselves, who think that they're going to do a better job than a licensed attorney. But that's still not the insane part. The insane and hysterical part, what's made the news recently, is the fact that Bochene sent a fee schedule to the government and he's demanding that they pay him. He's demanding that you and I as taxpayers, pay for him to defend himself. Bochene literally said, quote, "You want to do business with me? These are my prices." He also said, quote, "I don't think there's any evidence that a man can be forced to labor and spend time without compensation. I'm representing myself, so a lot of work gets put into this." There's also no evidence that a man must fire his public defender and try to defend himself when he's being given a public defender for free. And he believes that not only should the government pay him what they would have paid to his now fired public defender, but he expects the government to fork over millions of dollars if he's forced to provide bodily fluids or if he believes his signature has been forged on something. I'm not joking. This is not a joke. So here's what his fee schedule includes. Bochene demanded, or is demanding, $10,000 for a 30-minute court appearance. He wants $50,000 if his appearance is made under duress. Gee, I wonder who gets to decide if he's under duress or not. He also is demanding $500 an hour for any time that he spends researching, and $50,000 if that research is done under duress. And then he wants $6 million if anyone attempts to forge a signature on a document. And he also believes, as I said, that he should get $5 million if he's forced to provide bodily fluids, which, first of all, what the hell is he talking about? Why would he need to provide bodily fluids? You entered the Capitol, for God's sakes. This isn't a rape case. What is this guy talking about? Oh, and Bochene says his fees are due and payable within 15 days of invoice. Yeah, like as if anybody gets paid that fast. And get this, Bochene is trying to paint himself as this nonpartisan person who he was just in the Capitol as an American journalist. He was an independent journalist. In fact, he said that he doesn't subscribe to a left-right ideology. He's just neutral, you guys. He's Switzerland. He says that he has every right under the First Amendment, or had every right, to be in the Capitol and to document what was going on as a, quote, citizen journalist. Yet none of the photos of Bochene shows him, number one, recording with anything. He didn't have like a camera. He didn't have a recording device like some of these people. And in the affidavit filed by the FBI, the video that Bochene shared of his time in the Capitol was approximately 2 minutes long. So if he was there as a journalist to document everything going on, where's all this footage he took? Why didn't he post it online as other journalists did? Why didn't he go to the authorities and share this information he collected immediately after January 6th? Wow, great journalism. In fact, I took a look because he does have a website. So I took a look at Bochene's website. It's called sansmemetics.net. What I found was pages of conspiracy theories with some racism sprinkled in for good measure, of course. There are articles on his website containing easily verified lies. So, like, for example, there's one about how the members of Congress and their family members are exempted from paying back student loans. That is absolutely false. Anybody who looks it up can find out. There are also, of course, numerous blog posts claiming that COVID is a scamdemic. There was also one about Obama's birthday party in which he called Obama, quote, niggy stardust. Yeah. He called celebrities filthy and subhuman. He complained about Obama's use of a private jet and stated, quote, so much for the other F word, the slur made against gay people. So these F trashes carbon footprint. He's also, in the span of just a few sentences, he both called Obama's birthday a super spreader event, but then downplayed COVID by saying, quote, the peasants are told to mask up, take the jab, and make sacrifices because of the so-called Delta variant. So he does believe in COVID and it was a super spreader event, or he thinks it's a hoax. I don't know. I think he's a bit confused, but the about page, among other laughable things, states that hate speech is, quote, made up nonsense, and that the only, quote, true crimes should be theft, violence, and threats of violence. But most telling of all of this were Bochene's alleged personal messages to an acquaintance, private messages that Bochene sent on WeChat, which appear to show I know you guys are going to find this shocking. He's a Q-loon. He believed in these fairy tales about Trump working to expose the cabal and execute them. One of Bochene's contacts sent a photo of Bochene inside the Capitol with the message, quote, "Can't be you." Bochene replied, quote, "It's me, I was there." And then his friend said, "You're joking." And then Bochene responded in two separate messages. And he said in the first, quote, "Nope, I have video evidence as well I captured." And then the second message was, quote, "It was all a false flag. Insurrection Act signed last night. Leftist B trash are being executed right now." Really? Do tell. Who was executed? Oh my gosh. When was the funeral? I mean, why weren't we all notified? So he's clearly a Trump supporter. He's trying to pretend like he's not, like so many of these other people. So here's where things stand now. Bochene has demanded that he be paid more than, most high-powered, sought-after, educated attorneys on the planet. And Bochene is saying that, I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to continue cooperating with the court if they don't pay me. So he's threatening, like he's just going to not do anything. He's not going to show up for, I guess, hearings, and he's not going to take part in any of it. So District Judge Randolph Moss issued a response to Bochene's demands, which doesn't sound like he's going to be getting that sweet, sweet cash anytime soon. Judge Moss wrote, quote, or in part, "The court is unclear exactly what relief defendant seeks. To the extent defendant is seeking payment for appearing in court, that argument lacks merit. Defendant stands charged with several crimes and is currently released on personal recognizance bond. In the end, the defendant must appear in court as required." So doesn't sound like the judge is going to play ball and let him get away with any of this. We'll see what happens, but I'll keep you guys posted on this latest character now starring in the batshit crazyville story known as January 6th. But, if he refuses to comply, if he refuses to take part in these hearings, he's going to end up back in jail. He's going to face more charges. I really, really hope he refuses to comply. Do it, Bochene. Do it. Fight the man. Dig your heels in. They can't tell you what to do, Bochene. You take it to them. Anyway, I'll let you guys know when I hear more. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care. I'll talk with you soon.